Good morning, Eric. You said you wanted to talk about something. What's on your mind?
Good morning to you, Pastor. Well, I was wondering if you remember my brother?
I'm sorry, I wasn't aware you had brother. Has he been to church recently?
No, never been to church. He lives in Florida. But he did post a like on one of your Facebook posts once.
I'm not sure I remember him.
Well, actually I have 3 brothers and a sister, but none of them live around here, or maybe I should say lived around here. My oldest brother died last week. I just got back from the funeral.
Oh, I'm sorry. Tell me about him. What was his name?
You mean the one who died?
Yes, what do you remember about him?
Well, his name was Lazarus. We used to call him Lizard. He was my oldest brother, and was retired in Florida. I think the last time I saw him was 3 years ago.
And what happened to him?
He had a bad ticker, and lived alone. Some of his friends got worried when he didn't show up at the usual spots, and after about 4 days, they got the police and super to open the apartment, and well, there he was just peacefully sitting in his chair watching TV. Except he wasn't watching, because he was dead. They said there was quite an odor.
Yes, that must have been dramatic for you to hear about. What can you tell me about him?
Well, he was very well liked by all of his friends, and would go to church once in a while. He was married once, but that didn't work out, so he lived alone for the last 30 years. Never had any kids. Our sister Martha and he were closest. She lives around Myrtle Beach and they would get together often. I wasn't able to get to the lower 48 as often as I wished, but we would talk often on the phone and sometimes Skype.
Were you close to him when you were growing up?
Not really. I was in 3rd grade when he graduated and joined the army. When he got out he moved to Virginia. He retired 2 years ago and moved to Florida.
What do you remember most about him?
Well, he was always happy and liked to joke around a lot, but the real reason I wanted to talk to you was, well, I just have this nagging thought that when I heard the news that he had died, well, I was thinking, if only I had called you then, and you had flown down to Florida with me. Well, maybe, just maybe you could have brought him back. You know, the way Jesus did.
Well, it is true that that story is in the Bible in the book of John. But that is not something I, or any other pastor I know, can do.
But his name was Lazarus, and well, I just thought.
I see. Well, no, that is not something I would have been able to do for you, or for anybody.
Then, why are those things in the Bible?
Well, in John especially, they are stories that unfold who Jesus was, not what we can do.
But I just thought a good faithful person, like you could. Well, you know. Well, his name was Lazarus.
I understand that, but those stories are more about telling us that Jesus is with us, that he is present even in our pain, and especially in our pain. Jesus is with you in your pain right now.
You mean like, when the big dog said I feel your pain?
Well, I suppose, and while that statement has been the fodder for many a joke, I wish more politicians would say it and at least try to walk in it. But I believe the story in John is about Jesus being with us in all of life and beyond, and that neither life nor death nor things present or things to come can separate us from that love that is in Christ Jesus.
That is what I like about you, Pastor. You always know the right words. That is why I thought you had the right words too. Well, you know. I mean, his name was Lazarus.
Will you be okay?
Yes, perhaps I should start coming to that Bible study you have before worship. Perhaps there are some things I could learn.
Perhaps.